Remember when you were just a kid, dreaming big about your future and still having hope that everything you might be dreaming about, well, it might actually come to life? When all your 20s have barged into your life, any hope left your body as quickly as rats fleeing a sinking ship. Your job doesn't satisfy you at all. If your risk could be scored, it'll probably be in the negative numbers, and the beautiful mansion you dreamed of owning would do a reverse Cinderella and become a one-bed apartment with great views and most probably owned by an extremely understanding and peaceful landlord. That's a pretty sad outcome, right? Well, be aware that some people would kill for that to be their sad outcome. Because some people, well, they have it much worse. Akira Tendo is a 24-year-old graduate that after years of studying and sacrifices finally manages to get his dream job where he can finally put to use all of his hard work. Getting praised by colleagues and chefs, socializing with many new and interesting people, as well as maybe finally find the love of his life. And the first day at work, well, it seems to go exactly as hoped, but that's just up to a certain point. Akira soon comes to realize that what he's working for is actually a black company. Praise is nowhere to be seen even if you work your ass off for days on end without even going home. His colleagues' only source of entertainment is to compare the amount of overtime non-paid hours spent at the office, as well as the amount of differently severe conditions that they get as a result of their lifestyle. And the extremely nice and stunning girl he meets on his first day gets fucked by his boss that wouldn't look out of place as an ugly bastard, to be honest with you.
大丈夫だよ。部屋の壁厚いから。
An environment like this is something that can really mess with someone's life and mentality. The continued stress from being overworked, the absolute absence of positive stimulation, and an extremely unhealthy lifestyle can really mess with one's head.
ああ、これ邪魔だな。これがなかったら明日会社行かなくて済むのに。
Sometimes, though, wishes come true at the most unexpected moments. A zombie apocalypse is an event that usually is, well, perceived in quite a negative way from those affected by it. You know, rotting corpses walking, and worst case scenario, running around the streets, a probably very unpleasant smell, and a lot of opportunities for a heroic sacrifice in order to save somebody, blowing yourself up, killing a bunch of zombies because you've already been bitten. Yeah, a pretty shitty situation to find yourself in if you ask me so.
Well, we're fucked.
But for Akira, well, it's a gift from heaven. His world, or better, his perception of the world surrounding him, up until this point bleak, desaturated, and almost detached from himself as if he's in a constant state of derealization, finally focuses back. At first, when he finds the first zombie, some colors, especially the ones of blood, pop back into his perception. That's also when, just thinking about ending it all the day prior, facing now death standing a couple of feet away from him, his desire to live kicks back in. He runs. He runs probably for the first time since he played rugby at college years ago. He runs as fast as he can to reach the rooftop, and this is when he finally realizes.
ていうか
He doesn't have to go back to work. That's where his numbed mind finally breaks completely free. He's no longer a spectator. He takes control of his own life. He almost bursts through the screen, his mind now active enough to process all of the colors that surround him, as brightly as ever. You know, although I often like to analyze stories, even those that on the surface seem to be as simple as this one. And, I might be here ranting about how all of the show may be a clever metaphor constructed by these two madmen on how the show presents us with two seemingly different creatures, humans and zombies, that all along were always the same thing. Sure, there is a both physical as well as mental transformation that needs to take place for someone like her to become a brainless, putrid dangerous. Okay, no, that's still a smash for me. But you know, zombies are not necessarily mindless creatures whose sole purpose of not living is to eat human flesh. How different are these types of zombies really from Akira's colleagues, as well as from Akira himself? I feel like more than using zombies as an apocalyptic trope like a lot of media does, Zombie 100 used them as a metaphor to point out how Akira finally managed to follow his own path, breaking out of his scripted path of misery and despair, now living his life day by day, without boundaries. Oh, and by the way, what on earth is going on with the animation quality here? When I watched the first episode of Zombie 100, I kinda just assumed that it was, animated by something like Mappa Studios, considering how much of an orgasm-inducing experience it was. Both regarding the animation, but also the amount of extremely creative editing, timing, and directing choices. Very easy to miss at times, but really hard to ignore or forget when you actually notice them. Props to the guys at Back Films. Wherever you are, I really hope you are not experiencing what Akira did for 3 years. I really do. In conclusion, Zombie 100 can be whatever you want it to be. You can just watch it as your typical zombie story filled with gore, body horror, and a constant presence of well-placed comedic relief. And, that is just fine. But you can also decide to look a bit further into it, unveiling a seemingly no-brainer story. You get it, no-brainer, because they have no brains. To find that it holds the power to make you think about your own life, your decisions, and your own way to look at the world. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I really hope I'm gonna be seeing you in my next videos. In the meantime, be sure to check out all of my content. Thank you very much again, and goodbye.